Hi, welcome to my YouTube video. Today I'm just making a video about vocabulary, English words. Um, so I created a kind of word list in my mind, and these words were garnered by me uh, through a very long period. Like I studied literature for a very long time, like 30, 40 years. And while reading books, I came across a lot of words. And those are the words I am including in this vocabulary word list. Um so I have never been looking at dictionaries and explicitly searching words in the dictionary. It was always like I found the words while reading and then looked it up in dictionaries. So it was never like specifically I'm looking for words and going and turning a dictionary and turning the pages of a dictionary and trying to find the words. It was always like while reading, I came across words and I thought that it would be useful to make a vocabulary list and maybe it's useful for people. So let's get started with the words. Okay, let's get started. Uh, the first word is immolate. Let me write it down. Immolate. So this word means to kill or sacrifice. So it's basically the act of killing or sacrificing. And to use it in a sentence, um, the Mayans immolated many animals. So it's basically for killing or sacrificing. Killing or sacrificing by the fire, right? So that is immolating. Self immolation is killing oneself. So it's good to remember this word, immolate. And then let me. So I'm not going to delve into the roots and other things of the word. Basically, just we'll do that at a later session. But just now, we just like to put some words and try to remember these words. It's an interesting thing. It's like kind of hobby for me to collect the words. So I'll go to the second word that is decipher. So this is a common. If you are in computer science and all, this is a very common words. Decipher, right? What does it mean? It means to uh, find the meaning or read something, right? I mean, when you are reading, you try to get the meaning. Decipher, right? So see, it's like decoding. It can be a synonym. Decoding can be a synonym. Interpreting, basically. So you are deciphering a text, right? So what it means is you're decrypting or interpreting or translating or making out or discerning a text. I mean, succeed in understanding. So you got it right. So basically, uh, you say you decipher certain texts. Okay, so I'll just put out the meaning. I'll just write the meaning. I think it's a good word to remember, especially in the modern days. Uh, so another simple word is immaculate. Immaculate. Let me just type it. Yeah, immaculate. What does it mean? It means something that is spotless, very clear, spotless, not stained, right? It is like something that is clean and spotless, that is immaculate. So use it in a sentence. I would say his character was immaculate, spotless, right? His character was immaculate. Okay, so and something without a stain, something that is unsoiled, right? So that would be immaculate, unsullied, right? Spotless. So I would write the synonym as spotless, unstained. Hope you remember this word, immaculate. Now let's jump to another word, carnage. So these are not very difficult words, but if you have not come across these words, you might better note it down. Carnage is what? It is like killing of people, right? Killing, slaughter. Carnage is slaughter. I am just putting these words randomly. I mean, you can have, see, basically, you try to use these words in a sentence, then you will remember, right? So, carnage is like a massacre, right? You might, so if you see, just form a sentence like, how do you form a sentence? Um, the entire attack was total carnage, right? Something like that. It's an event, it's like a massacre. Okay, so better remember this word, carnage. I'll move on to the next word, demiurge. Have you come across this word, demiurge? What's a demiurge? It is a so it's a being that is responsible for the creation of the universe. So a demiurge is a maker or a creator of a world. Is demiurge a god? Kind of. He's the creator of the world, right? Yeah. So Plato, in Platonic philosophy, you might come across this word. The maker or creator of the world is a demiurge. I'll just write it down. Don't mind the fonts and all. I mean, we'll just focus on the words. Yeah. Yeah. And remember these words. They are not very difficult to remember. Okay, I'll give you more words now. Lacerate. I don't know how you pronounce it. Lacerate or lacerate. What it means? Can you guess? So it means to tear or make deep cuts. So, uh, you know, mm, it's like, okay, the knife, I to use it in a sentence. The knife had lacerated and made deep cuts in his flesh. So that is a sentence. Correct? Yeah, hold on. So let me write it down. Lacerate or lacerate. To tear. Cash. So these are some example of simple words. Um, so I feel like I came across this word very very long time ago. Like I was reading some book or something. So I just have some thoughts on vocabulary. Like How do you improve your vocabulary? I would say the primary source would be reading books. But what kind of books? See, for me, although I was a science student, a science guy, I took a lot of interest in literary works. But the literary works that I was interested was like a little bit 300 or 400 years old, like the works of Shakespeare, Milton, Lord Byron, Sheats, Shelley, um, Alfred Lord Tennyson. So these were poets and they were great writers. I usually tended to avoid modern works. I mean, I tend to avoid modern works. Um See, I found like the works of Dr. Johnson, Milton, Shakespeare. They are like, I mean, treasure house of words, right? They are like, if you read Charles Dickens books, you will find so many words. I mean, it was as if the writers liked using those words. They were very artistic and it was delightful to read. See, I feel like with the advent of technology, movies took over. Basically, storytelling seems more effective when it's presented in a movie, right? So the art of writing seems to have declined, not to I hope the modern writers don't take offense at it, but it seemed like writers like John Keats, they, I mean, if you look at their works, no, they tend to be more artistic. I mean, and they tend to use a lot of words. Right? It's their so I do feel like if you read those kind of works, you will automatically improve your language. I would have a recommended reading list, especially if you want to improve your vocabulary. And then see, you might also read journals, medical journals, scientific journals, where you might come across a lot of new words. And the field of medicine and anatomy, I mean, they are loaded with words, and I mean, it's about reading. I mean, when you read books, you automatically come across words. When you come across the words, don't be lazy and skip the words. Make a note of the words that you don't know, and then look at them in dictionaries. Use Google to find the meaning of words, and that is how you improve. And many people like they want to appear for competitive exams and they try to memorize the words. I mean, that's not very useful, right? If you're not using the words, you will automatically forget them. So that's not how I recommend reading. It should be kind of a hobby where you read a lot of books. You will automatically come across words. Okay, so enough of that. I'll jump to some more words. Yeah. Okay. Next word is a simple word, a minion. Like, what is a minion? Minion is kind of a slave, right? So it's a it's a kind of word for a slave, right? A follower, a slave, a lackey. So I just write it down. It's a slave or a follower of a person. Yeah. Where is my word? Yeah. Okay. So this I just copied from Google, but it's basically a follower. Follower or underling of a powerful person. So uh, you can say the powerful king had many minions, or the master had many minions. Right? That would be an example sentence. Okay, so remember this word, and let's move on to more words. Clawing is the next word. Give me a moment. I'll just adjust my screen. Clawing. What is cloying? Something that is excessively sweet. I mean, very sweet. And if it's very sweet, it is kind of sickening, right? Sickeningly sweet, I would say. That is one of the meanings of cloying. Okay, so excessively sweet. So this word can also be used for something that is very excessively sentimental, right? To a sickening degree, right? Excessively sweet or excessively sentimental. So that is cloying. Okay, so it is referring to an unpleasant thing, right? It's sweet but unpleasantly sweet. That is what cloying is. Yeah. Let me move on to another word. Abeyance. Okay. What is abeyance? A temporary state of disuse. That is abeyance. Suspension of something, right? So you can say the matters were held in abeyance until further inquiries, right? That could be a sentence. Abeyance. Okay. Suspense. Suspension of something. Temporary suspension. That is abeyance. Suspension or disuse. You're not using it, so it's in abeyance. Abeyance. So remember these words, what we have covered so far. Immolate is to kill or sacrifice. Decipher, to decode a text. Immaculate is spotless, unstained, pure. Carnage is killing. Demiurge is the creator of the world. Lacerate or lacerate is to tear. A knife lacerates through the skin, right? Minion is a follower. Clawing is something that is excessively sweet. Abeyance is a temporary suspension or disuse, right? Okay. Okay, let me move on to another word. Let's say this word is debonair. Have you come across this word? Debonair. Debonair. What is debonair? Something that is cheerful, right? Light-hearted, cheerful. Debonair. Okay, so debonair also means courteous, gracious, having sophisticated charm, jaunty, carefree. These are the synonyms actually. Okay, so somebody with debonair manners, refined manners. So, following are synonyms. I'll just write down the synonyms. You can understand, I think. These are the synonyms. Polished, suave. Suave is like elegant, bold, polished kind of guy, carefree. These are the meanings of debonair. Debonair. Let me think of some. See, it can also mean graceful and well dressed, also. There are a lot of synonyms for this word. Okay. I would say James Bond appears to me rather debonair. That could be an example sentence. Okay, so let's move on to another word. Ebullient. Ebullient is what? I mean, it is something uh, overflowing, plenteous, lavish, happy. So these are the synonyms that I can think of for the word ebullient. Okay, so something that is exuberant. Okay, exuberant, overflowing as in spirits, very cheerful, very enthusiastic, spirited, ebullient. I'm just writing the dictionary word here, cheerful and full of energy. Overflowing, I would say, overflowing with energy. Overflowing with energy. Okay. So, uh, somebody who is bubbling over with enthusiasm is ebullient. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. You can say ebullient. That's what Google says. I pronounce it as ebullient or ebullient. Ebullient. Yeah. But remember the word. We are focusing on the meanings here. I hope you remember this word. It means cheerful and full of energy, spirited. That's what I would say. Now let's move on to another word, penury. Penury. See, that is extreme poverty. If you are in penury, it means poverty. State of being extremely poor. So, so it's penury. So, the state of being very poor, extreme poverty. I'm just writing the dictionary word here, a dictionary meaning. Let me write the word first. Penury. State of being poor, extremely poor. Without the basic needs, right? If you are in state of penury, you don't have the necessary means of survival. So we can say that if you are not employed for a long time, you will be in a state of penury. Okay, let's move on to another word. Pertinent. Pertinent. What is pertinent? It is relevant. Relevant to the matters in hand. Pertinent. Okay, something that is relevant to the relevant or applicable to a certain matter at hand. So, the judge asked a lot of pertinent questions, right? That is a sentence. Pertinent is like, okay, something relevant and something suitable or appropriate, right? Pertinent. That is what it means. Relevant or applicable to particular matter or to the matter. Yeah, pertinent. So remember that it is not penitent; it is pertinent. Let penitent be another word. Penitent. This is a different word. What does it mean? It means that you are, what do you call that? Penitent. You are contrite. I mean, that's the word that comes to my mind. Repentant. I mean, contrite is also repentant, but yeah, repentant or contrite or regretful, remorseful, sorry for something, apologetic. Okay, so that is what penitent is. Feeling or expressing sorrow, it's repentant. Somebody is sorrow, showing remorse. Right? Repentant. Repentant, right? So you can example sentence. The prisoner was penitent. Right? He was repentant. Okay. Now another word is pusillanimous. What does it mean? It's a simple word. Cowardly. I mean, that's what I remember about the word. Used it in many sentences. Pusillanimous. What does it mean? Cowardly, right? Lacking courage. So it's a simple word. But remember the word. So I could say the soldiers were pusillanimous, right? So they were cowardly, lacking determination, right? So not brave. So remember the word pusillanimous. Our next word can be onus. Let's say onus is our word. Okay, let's say onus is our next word. What does onus mean? It means burden, responsibility, duty. And you can use it like, okay, the onus is on you to prove something. That means the burden or the responsibility is on you to prove something, right? So that is how you can use it in a sentence. Onus means, let me write it down. Onus, burden or responsibility. Usually it is used like that, right? The onus is on you to prove something. The burden of responsibility. Burden or responsibility. Okay, so remember these words. And see, a similar word is something like incumbent. You might have heard this word, incumbent, right? What is incumbent? Incumbent is, again, it is a burden or responsibility kind of thing. So, necessary as a duty or responsibility. So, the government is, I mean, realized that it was incumbent on them to pass certain rules or laws. So, it is something that is binding, necessary, or obligatory. Incumbent. Let me write it down. Incumbent. Correct. Necessary is for someone is a duty or obligation. Sometimes you might use it in a different way, right? You can say that sometimes, right? You might use it like as a noun in the sense that a holder of an office or a port. So, the present incumbent will be soon gone or retiring. So, generally, it's like something that is binding or obligatory, incumbent upon the government to do something. It is incumbent on somebody to do something. So that is a similar word to onus. So I just thought to put it down along with onus. Okay, remember these words. Okay, next word I find is dexterity. What is dexterity? It is again a simple word. Dexterity. It is a skill. Skill. Dexterity means skill, right? Adroitness. Okay. So these are again simple words. Okay. So his dexterity at the particular game was amazing, right? It is skill, his deftness, adroitness. These are synonyms. Hope you can remember all these words. Skill and these are simple words. I'm not saying they are difficult. Okay. Next word. Puerile. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correct. Puerile is childish, right? Puerile, it is childish. So it is silly or immature. Childish, silly, immature.
Puerile.
So you can pronounce it as puerile. 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 So these are basically very simple words, and probably I think you should know if you are a good reader. And if you have not come across these words, better note it down. And I find these words, I mean, so I would also give you a reading list. Like you try to read the works of Charles Dickens, but read the unabridged version of Charles Dickens. You will find a lot of words. I mean, he uses a lot of words. Read books like Little Dorrit, Barnaby Raj, Pickwick Papers. These are some notable works of Charles Dickens. Okay, and read John Milton. So if you can, I mean, John Milton is like he has written Paradise Lost, right? So you might find plenty of words there, but they are not easy to understand. I mean, it's if you are a good reader, probably you have read a lot of literary works, you might find them easy to understand. But uh, if you are a literary guy, fond of literary things, you won't find these words as even challenging. It is very simple. But for people who are beginning to read, right, beginning to read books, exploring, just starting to explore literary works of fiction, non-fiction. So for them, some of these words might be new. They are actually very simple words. So just remember them. English. Yeah. Um, okay. Our next word is mawkish. So this word means overly sentimental or falsely sentimental, right? Sickly sentimental. So what is mawkish? Insincerely sentimental is also probably a meaning, and sentimental in an exaggerated or false way. That is the meaning of this word. Okay, so let me just write it down. Yeah, exaggerated or false way, right? Hmm. Insincere way, insincere or false way. Insincere and exaggerated. Okay, that is mawkish. I think there is a similar word that is maudlin. That is overly sentimental, tearful, right? Full of tears and like too much sentimental. That is maudlin. Okay, so okay, another word is abstruse. I think abstruse. What is abstruse? Abstruse is something difficult to understand. Something very profound but difficult to understand. Difficult to understand. So, to use it in a sentence, I can say the archaeologists uh, found some abstruse ancient texts. Okay, so something that is difficult to understand, abstruse. That is what it means. And another word is lugubrious. This is also, that is tearful, sorrowful. Lugubrious is tearful. VP, crying. It's used as an adjective. That means somebody is like mournful, too much mournful, right? Lugubrious. Yeah. Lugubrious. How to use it in a sentence? So it's a sad kind of sentiment, very sad and exaggerated way. Okay. Remember the spelling Luguprious. Okay. So so the graveyard was a lugubrious spectacle, like people were crying, sad. So remember this word. Let me think about another word. Let's say capricious. What is capricious? I would say it is fickle, right? Whimsical, capricious, right? Sudden, I mean, inconstant. Fickle, you know what fickle is, right? That is changing all the time. Uh, Fickle is like, okay, moody, right? Based on the mood, changes based on mood. Whimsical, it is like whimsical is changing the mood or behavior suddenly, right? So that is capricious. Okay. So the lady was very capricious, meaning unpredictable, having unpredictable mood or sentiments, right? Yeah, unpredictable, I would say. So let me just write it down. If you have not come across these words, you also write it down. Sudden changes, even to sudden and unaccountable changes of mood, I would say whimsical. Whimsical, capricious. Okay, one more word is assiduous. What does it mean? Assiduous is constant application, diligence, right? Something done with due diligence. I found this word in Charles Dickens' works very long time ago. Assiduous, right? So showing hard work. I mean, so something that is requiring great. Sedulous can also be a synonym for this. Okay, so so if I'm in a literary mood, I would say something with diligent application, something done with diligent application, hard work, persevering. And I said the student would be a hardworking student, right? Okay. Yeah. So someone who is assiduous works hard generally, right? Or you can say marked by great persistent effort. That is one meaning, right? Um, and the noun, it is an adjective, right? Assiduous. You pay a lot of attention to detail and work hard. So you're showing assiduous application to something, diligent, showing hard work, care, and attention to detail. Okay. So I'm just a bit lazy, so I'm just copy pasting some text. I would rather write it down. Showing hard work, care, mm, constant application, and diligence. Showing constant application and diligence. That is assiduous, persevering on something with great assiduity, right? Example sentence would be he pursued the detective pursued the case with great assiduity, right? Great assiduity. That is a sentence related to assiduous. Okay, I'm not sure how it is pronounced.
Assiduous.
It's assiduous. Okay. Okay. So hope you remember these words. Okay, let's go to another word. Another word is, let me think about it, exegesis. Meaning, okay, so another word is, our next word is exegesis. So it's a interpretation of a religious text, especially the scripture, right? So critical explanation or interpretation of a religious text is an exegesis. So somebody is writing an explanation or interpretation of the Bible. It is like he's writing an exegesis.
Exegesis.
So you can pronounce it as exegesis. Exegesis. An explanation, interpretation of a religious text. Okay, so remember this word exegesis. Okay, another word. Let's move on to another word. Halcyon. What is it? It is something very peaceful. Right? You must have heard this word. Halcyon. Peaceful and gentle and calm atmosphere, right? Okay. And it is also a genus of tree kingfishers, but that's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to the adjective that is calm, peaceful, and prosperous. The word comes from the halcyon bird, actually. That's interesting. Also, you can say the olden days were very halcyonic, very peaceful. The halcyon days of our youth. You can use it in that way. Okay. Um, Another word that is similar. Let me write it down. Have I written this word down? I'm not sure. Okay. Peaceful. Ah, a similar word comes to my mind. Halcyonic. So halcyonic is peaceful and calm, but the similar word is I'm not sure if it's similar. You must have heard this word idyllic, right? Idyllic times. Idyllic. How do you pronounce it? I'm not sure.
Idyllic.
It is idyllic. Okay. So what is idyllic? Something that is extremely happy, peaceful, picturesque, beautiful. Let me write it down. Idyllic. This came up in my mind when I was thinking about halcyonic. I remembered the word. See, idyllic. An idyllic place or experience is extremely pleasant, beautiful, or peaceful. Idyllic is peaceful. I hope you can remember these words. So, if you're reading a lot of poetry, this word generally comes up, right? Idyllic. Right? Yeah. Let me move to another word now. Gregarious. It's a simple word. Okay. Gregarious is living in flocks, like sociable. Animals that live in flocks are gregarious animals. So, how do you, I mean, social, you can say social, sociable, fond of company, gregarious, gregarious. I'm just copy pasting some words because I don't want to write all of them. Sometimes I tend to copy paste words. Gregarious. I would say living in flocks, sociable. Fond of company. So you can say some of the animals like goats are gregarious, meaning they tend to live in flocks or live in herds. Social. Okay. Let's move on to another word. Our next word is intransigent. Intransigent. What does it mean? Something or someone that is very obstinate and unwilling to yield. Right? So that is intransigent. Let me write it down. Intransigent, obstinate, stubborn, unyielding, uncompromising. Right? Intransigent. So somebody who is not willing to give up on a certain position. Some adamant can also be a synonym. Okay, so you can say like example sentence that farmers were very intransigent and unwilling to give up the strike. That could be a sentence, right? Yeah. So that is what it means. Let's move on to another word. See, I am giving these words just randomly. There's a word list in my mind, so I keep thinking about words a lot, so I remember them. Another word is rambun. My next word is rambunctious. It's an interesting word. What does it mean? Let me write it down first. See, something that is turbulent or out of control or difficult to control or handle. That is exuberant, probably, but boisterous. Uncontrollably exuberant and boisterous. That is one of the synonyms. Right? Wild and uncontrollable, out of hand, rambunctious, difficult to control. Noisy children, right? They are who are unruly and rambunctious. Have I written down this word? No. Uncontrollably ebullient. You remember the word ebullient, right? Like spirited and energetic and lively, but uncontrollably. So they are out of control. Rambunctious children. The children were very rambunctious and caused a lot of noise. Correct? Hard to handle. Noisy could be a distant synonym. Rollicking, noisy, lively, rowdy, rankus. Raucous, not rankus. Rambunctious person is energetic but also in a noisy way. Uncontrollable, noisy way. Yeah. I hope you got the synonym and the meaning. Let me move on to another word. These are very simple words. We will discuss challenging words at a later stage, but these are simple words. Okay, belligerent, another word which is similar but not exactly similar. Belligerent is warlike. Belligerent. Let me write it down. Belligerent, sorry. What is belligerent? Aggressive, right? Belligerent is hostile and aggressive. Warlike. Let me write down the meaning as well. Warlike. Aggressive. So the tribals were belligerent. That's a sample sentence. So warlike, aggressive. I hope you got the meaning. It's a simple word. Bellicose is another word that is actually a synonym of belligerent. What is bellicose? Again, demonstrating aggression, willing to fight, warlike. Let me write it down. These two words are similar. Bellicose or belligerent. This is a simple word actually. Bellicose. Aggressive, same. Bellicose is a synonym for belligerent. So they are pugnacious and belligerent, willing to fight. So that is the word. Favoring or inclined to start quarrels and wars. Bellicosity, right? Yeah. Contentious is another synonym. Okay, have I written down the meaning? Yeah, aggressive. Yeah. It comes from the word, Latin word bellum that means war. Okay. Okay, let me move on to another word. Pernicious. What does it mean? Pernicious is something harmful. Right? Harmful, killing utterly. Pernicious. Very harmful, killing utterly. Pernicious. Okay. Having a harmful effect. Right? Destructive, injurious. These are the synonyms. You can say the poison is pernicious to health. Not a good example sentence, but I hope it highlights the word. Pernicious, having a harmful effect. Injurious and hurtful. These are synonyms. Hope you got the meaning. Let me move on to another word. Insidious. What does it mean? Insidious. So, something that is stealthily creeping but harmful. Okay, you may not notice something that is insidious easily, but it is very harmful. So, when you smoke, the effects are insidious, meaning proceeding in a gradual, subtle way, but with harmful effects. You got it, right? So, gradually and secretly causing harm. High blood pressure is an insidious condition, right? You might not notice the effects of high blood pressure, but it is insidious condition which harms the health and has very few symptoms, right? I would just say gradually and secretly causing harm. That explains the word insidious. Gradually and secretly causing harm. You may not notice the effects of high blood pressure, but it will cause you harm. So it is insidious. I hope I have explained it. Let me write it down. Just want to change the format, nothing more. Insidious. Proceeding subtly but causing harmful effects. Hope it is clear. Another word is nefarious. Nefarious. What is nefarious? Extremely wicked. Nefarious is extremely wicked. What is that? Wicked or criminal, evil, sinful, iniquitous, heinous. Right? Person can be nefarious, very wicked, morally very bad. Right? So, if something is nefarious, it is criminal, evil, malicious, and wicked. So, nefarious would be wicked, extremely wicked. I hope you got it. It's a simple word. And if you've not heard these words, you write it down. Just note it down. They are simple words basically. Panache is my next word. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Panache.
Panache.
Yeah, panache. So, panache is what? Flamboyance or style, right? Or stylish. It is confidence, but confident self assurance. Panache is flair, elegance, stylish elegance, right? So the orchestra guys played with great panache. That is self assurance and confidence. Panache. Let me write it down. Dash. Dash means confidence. Confident. So doing something with flair and stylish flair, that is panache. Right? Hope you got the meaning. Let's move on to our next word. Quandary is our next word. What does it mean? It is a doubt or a situation of perplexity, dilemma. Quandary is a dilemma or a state of perplexity where you are uncertain what to do. You are in a quandary. What does it mean? You are uncertain. Your state of dilemma. Right? Quandary. Again, this is a simple word, but try to use this word like if you are writing something. So he was in a quandary, right? That means he was in a state where he didn't know what to do. There were different choices. He was fixed. I mean, he was stuck, right? Difficult situation, a state of uncertainty, a state of perplexity, predicament, dilemma. That is quandary. Being in a quandary means you are in a state of uncertainty of what to do in a situation. I hope you got it. Have I written it down? Let me write down. Okay, I've written it down. My next word is agoraphobia. So this is a simple word. I mean, what is agoraphobia? What is an agora? So in ancient Greece, agora was an open marketplace, I think, right? Agora. What is phobia? Fear. So fear of open spaces is agoraphobia. Agora.
Agora.
It can be pronounced as agora. Especially in ancient Greece, a public open space used for assemblies and market. That is agora. But what is agoraphobia? Fear of open spaces. Fear of open spaces. What is an agora? Agora means Agora is a public marketplace, especially in ancient Greece. Agoraphobia. Written the meaning of agora as well. It's an open marketplace, especially in ancient Greece, it was a marketplace. Agora. Okay. So let's move on to another word. Let's say another word is claustrophobia. What is claustrophobia? Claustrophobia is just the opposite. Fear of confined spaces. Right? These are very simple words. Claustrophobia. So if you are shut up in a wall or a tomb, then you have agoraphobia, right? But it generally refers to the extreme or irrational fear of confined spaces. So some people are very, very scared of narrow passages or staying in confined buildings. They are claustrophobic. Looks like an opposite condition of agora phobia, right? So I just included it. Have I written down the word? Claustrophobia, yes. Fear of confined spaces is what I have written. Yeah. Let me move on to another word. Acrophobia. I'm in a mood to deal with phobias maybe. What is acrophobia? Acrophobia is fear of heights. Let me write down the word. Acrophobia is fear of heights. Okay, so remember these words. Okay, stubborn. It's not stubborn, it's stubborn. So let me correct it. Yeah, or like, okay. Fear of open spaces. It's fine. Okay. Now let's move on to another word. Our next word is tirade. Not sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. Tirade. It's a long, censorious speech. Okay. It's a long, censorious, vehement speech against someone. Tirade.
Tirade.
Okay, it's pronounced as tirade. Long, angry speech of criticism or accusation. It's generally a denunciation. What is a denunciation? It's a rant. You are critically censuring somebody. That is ranting against somebody, right? The modern terminology is rant. Long, angry speech of criticism or accusation. It's a long, vehement speech, I would say. Passionate and disapproving speech. It's a tirade. So, what do you do in tirade? You spew invectives. What does it mean? Invective. Right? Invective are bad words against somebody. Invective. Right? Invective is extremely insulting and abusively critical language. Invective is given two words: insulting, abusing, or highly critical language. Right? When you are full of invectives, it is meaning you are highly critical. Similar is like Very vituperative is another example. Vituperative. Right? What is that? Again, the same thing. Vituperative, insulting and very angry. Bitter and abusive language is vituperation. Using abusive language. Vituperative, basically. Another word is using expletives. Expletives. So I just remember this synonyms because these words are similar in meaning.
Expletive.
So it's pronounced as expletive, right? Expletives. Using expletives. That is vituperative. Invective again is similar word. Tirade is a long angry speech of criticism or accusation. Words are actually interesting. I mean, if you want to use a dictionary, I would suggest you use like some old dictionaries of Webster or Oxford. I mean, they had a great way of giving the meaning of words, which made them actually very interesting. I used to like the older the better. That's what I feel. Somehow, the modern language has lost its charm. I feel. Yeah. Let me move on to another word. Timorous. What is timorous? Timorous means lack of confidence, like cowardly. I mean, timid, right? Very timid and fearful, right? What is timorous? Not very confident, right? Timorous. I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
Timorous.
Okay, it's timorous. Timorous. Can timorous be timid? Right? Timid is a synonym. Yeah, maybe you can have it as a synonym. It's like timid, timid. I would try to put down as timid. Okay, I hope you remember these words. I mean, there are so many words in English. So when you come across these words in books, especially, note down these words, write down this meaning. Important thing is when you come across words in texts and books, do not skip the words. Remember them, write it down, and refer to them. That is the best way to learn. Right. Okay, my next word is fawning. Okay. Fawning. What does it mean? It means to be very flattering kind of guy. I mean, acting in a subservient way, in a very, obsequious way, right? Obsequious is fawning. Displaying a lot of exaggerated flattery or affection for somebody. Fawning. It's not a sincere kind of attention or flat. It is basically flattering someone or praising, bootlicking, psychophantic, toadish. These are synonyms. I like using a lot of words. Okay. So let me just write down these meanings. Fawning is attempting to win favor by flattery. Synonyms, bootlicking, psychophantic. Remember this word psychophantic. It is similar. I mean, toadish, right? Basically, you are behaving in a very slave-like manner and trying to court favor by flattering, not sincere adoration, kind of attempting to win favor. That is what it is basically. Fawning attitude is not really good, right? Yeah. People, yeah. Trying to get a lot of attention by being very subservient. and showing a lot of flattery and all. Yeah, that is what it is. Hope you remember this word. Another word is oniric. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Let me just check. Oniric is related to dreams. Okay. Yeah. Oniric is oniric.
Oniric.
Yeah, oniric. That is related to dreams or dreaming. Oniric. Let me write down the word if I have not written it. Related to dreams. Dreams. Occurring in dreams. Like a dream. Suggestive of dreams, dreaming. Okay, oniric. So his paintings had a oniric quality. Like it was like kind of dreamy and related to dreams. You have fantastic imagery in dreams, right? So when I say the artist's paintings were oniric and it was like dreamy, it tends to conjure up images from a dream, right? So, of or relating to dreams. Oniric. Yeah. Let's move on to another word. Eulogy is what? Praise. Eulogy is a praise. A writing or speech is which praises someone is also eulogy. In tribute, you can write in eulogy. Let me.
Eulogy.
Yeah, eulogy is the correct pronunciation. This is a simple word. Again, all these words are commonly occurring. If you keep reading books, you will find these words as very common. Just copy, especially it's a writing or speech that praises someone highly. Okay, especially a tribute to someone who has just died. But without that, also, if something is given as a tribute of speech or praise, then it is an eulogy, right? Speech of praise. So there is a similar word, right? Panegyric. So what is a panegyric? It is also a eulogy.
Panegyric.
Panegyric is a way to pronounce it. Panegyric is a public speech or published text in praise of someone. Panegyric. Yeah. Okay. So I'll just. So remember these words and I've given a lot of words, I think. Maybe 50, 60 something words. I mean, I have given 50 or 60 words maybe. Remember these words and keep reading. Basically, it's important to keep reading.